Okay, this video is going to be about comparison of nutrition experts to help give people a sense of the range in the field. I just show a quick picture of myself. This is when I was in college, home for the summer. I was at Stanford University. I was student athlete here at Stanford. Just to let you know where I'm coming from. I'm very interested in what is the best possible athletic performance and academic performance can a person achieve. Okay, so I'm just letting you know this is not the place if you want everything in moderation. This is the place for what is the best way. So that's where I'm coming from. Okay, first of all, who's sort of the most strict of the nutrition experts? That would be Walter Kempner. Walter Kempner recommended his rice diet, which initially starts out as being just rice and fruits. Later on, he would add vegetables. So it's obviously a 100% plant-based diet, rather restrictive. They're getting most of their calories from the rice, a starch. When Kempner started out, he was treating kidney failure patients, and then he was also treating a lot of severe hypertension patients, and he really wanted to lower sodium in the hypertensive patients to get the blood pressure down. He really wanted to lower dietary protein intake to help protect the kidney. The kidney's main job is to excrete nitrogen waste from protein. Okay, so the Kempner diet is highly effective, but the downside is it's a little monotonous and boring. My diet, for what it's worth, I'll just call it the Spartan Vegan diet, which again, it's kind of boring. I'm quite happy just to eat 100% plant foods, of course, 100%. What's different from how I recommend, I think, than a lot of the popular great doctors would be, I recommend organic because I've read a lot about the herbicides and pesticides on non-organic food, and I think they're bad. Even though if you talk to Dr. McDougall, who's probably the best nutrition doctor in the whole world, he doesn't think it's that big a deal. He says the most important thing is get that person to make that shift to eating 100% plant-based and also no oils, not a drop. All right. And my attitude and style really only works for highly motivated, highly intelligent people that want to pay attention to all these details. That's what I can offer. Esselstyn, fantastic guy, deserves a Nobel Prize. He has the best results of any doctor in the world for prevention of coronary artery disease. And I joke and call him the Dr. No diet. Dr. No, as in NO, is for nitric oxide. He wants to increase that. And then no for saying no to no sweets, no meats, no oils, not one drop, no meat, not one bite. And, very heroic of this guy. In his free time, he just did a little research project and proved that he could get better results treating coronary artery disease than all the fancy cardiologists, all the fancy medical centers in the world. So they don't like him, actually. They don't really want him around because he proved that a low-cost approach is more effective than the high-cost approach. But the reality is patients, just the vast majority of patients, aren't willing to go down that route. But for the person who is, that's how you get the best results for prevention of coronary artery disease. Okay, next for nutrition experts is Chef AJ. Chef AJ is a cook and a nutrition expert, and she's a lot more personable. She's like for what a regular person should go to. Somebody who's going to be nice to them and understanding, and she knows nutrition backwards and forwards. Her books are the best ones to give like a beginner in becoming a vegan. Secrets of Ultimate Weight Loss and Unprocessed. They tell you all the steps you need to take and all the psychological and, behavioral and also intestinal things you're going to go through when you make that transition to eating plant-based. And she also recommends low sodium, no added sodium, no oil, and no added sugar. And so it's it's a very healthy diet, and she's like good to like coach a person. Regular persons need you to be kind of gentle and thoughtful with them, and she's all those things. Okay, McDougall, amongst the nutrition doctors, his goals are different than mine. What I mean by that is I'm really interested in helping highly motivated people. McDougall wants to help everybody. I mean, I want to help everybody too. It's just that in my experience, I talk to tons of fat, sick people and they almost never change. So a person, like the thing about McDougall is most of the people that are listening to him, they seek him out. They'll go to his course. They'll watch his videos. That's a different audience than the average American. The average American is sort of like functionally illiterate and not motivated, versus somebody who seeks out learning and is open-minded to a plant-based diet. They've got a lot more potential to change because it's of their own initiative. Anyways, so what I'm saying is his big goal is just get them eating 100% plant-based and get them off all oil, all animal products. So because of that, McDougall's a little more lenient. He's like, fine, let them put a little salt on their food, let them put a little sugar on their food. The important thing is they changed all plant-based and no oils. And so His best book, I think, is Starch Solution. In terms of all the all the medical reasons why you'll benefit from a plant-based diet. The next of the great nutrition experts would be Colin Campbell, and he is the world's best expert on protein and its effect on the diet, how animal protein increases the risk of cancer. He's also sort of a historian and a philosopher. I enjoy reading his books. He'll go back through the history of nutrition in the 1800s and even back to Socrates and the philosophy of nutrition and health. So anyways, he's going to recommend a 100% plant-based diet. He's a little more lenient, more enthusiastic about the benefit of nuts than is Esselstyn or McDougall. His best book is The China Study. So those are, I think, good nutrition experts if you're interested in a 100% plant-based diet. Now, there's other vegan nutrition experts that have slightly different points of view on several things. There's some of them that are promoters of omega-3 olive oils, which I personally think are a bad idea for health. I've got a separate video on that. Promoters of olive oil, which I think is a terrible recommendation. But just so you know, that is popular, even amongst some cardiologists, and I think that's wrong. I think olive oil is atherogenic. All oils are atherogenic. But I'm just letting you know the category of experts out there. There's some that really promote soy very strongly, and I think it's, to me, obvious that I don't think soy is a good food. But I can tell you, there's some of the best nutrition doctors in the world promote soy pretty strongly. So, well, different opinion on that one. A lot of them don't think organic's that big of a deal. I do. I want 100% organic whenever possible. MSG. A lot of them think MSG. Most of them think MSG is no big deal at all. Well, my background is I'm an expert in the brain, and I studied a lot of biochemistry, and I think MSG is not good for you, or MFG, manufactured free glutamate. And I have separate lectures on excitotoxicity, why I don't recommend it. Coffee and caffeine and tea, there's problems with those foods, in my opinion, whereas a lot of people recommend all these different types of teas. I think teas are kind of dangerous. When I took botany class at Stanford, my professor was always like, teas are so dangerous. You don't even know what's in them a lot of times. They concentrate aluminum potentially F- and other things. And they got caffeine. I think they're like one of the most overrated foods. They just got this kind of, tea is sophisticated. No, it's not. Okay, easy on sodium. Sodium's a little bit controversial. I don't think it should be. I mean, the Yanomamo are eating like 100, 200 milligrams a day. They're very healthy. I think Graham McGregor, the guy, English physician, he's a nephrologist, is a pretty good expert. If you want to watch his videos online about sodium. There's sort of a popular school of thought. I'm not going to say the guy's name was promoting it, of eat as much sodium as you want. I think that's crazy because it's not just your blood pressure. It also affects cognitive function in the brain. There's a big bodybuilder who I like him. His nickname is the Rhino, Stan Efferding, and he says a lot of stuff I would not agree with for health. Bodybuilders are not that healthy, by the way. A lot of those guys, they die young, and they're all sick, and they're on protein supplements, trash their kidney, they trash their joints, etc. But why do I mention him? Because he felt that his performance significantly improved if he had a little bit of salt in his pre-workout meal. So, maybe there's something to that. I haven't studied pre-workout meals enough to know if that might make a difference or not. Bodybuilders are real complicated, though, because they got so many things going on with their physiology. They're taking steroids and all that. So all I can say, though, is I'm still open-minded to what's the deal with sodium on a pre-workout meal. But on a daily basis, I think it'd be very stupid to be ingesting large amounts of sodium. You not only make yourself more prone to high blood pressure, you make yourself more prone to cognitive impairment based on my study of the subject. Okay, non-vegan proponents, people who recommend it's okay. And there's people who say it's okay to eat meat on special occasions. I think even Dr. McDougall will say that's okay. It's what you do every day on a routine basis that really matters. So, people, you go to grandma's house for the holidays, have a little, turkey or something. It's not that big a deal. But I think anybody who's recommending daily intake of meat or oils, I think that's highly flawed in my opinion. So anyways, we'll leave it at that. Hope that was helpful to give you some perspective on different types of nutrition experts.